Okay, today I want to show you, just give you a brief demonstration on 3 techniques in pen and ink. Now the first thing you do, you select your objects, then you lightly draw them in. I've got a feather, a leaf, and a stick. Then you lightly draw your objects with pencil. I use a 2B or a number 2 pencil, 2HB. So you lightly draw the outline first in pencil because you're going to be erasing that. Then when you get started, I'm going to do contour lines, stippling, and crosshatching. As you see, I've started the drawings. So I'm going to continue working. And the first thing I want to warn you about or tell you about not to do is do not go in and outline your whole piece because that's going to flatten it. It's going to make it look more cartoonish. So what you want to do is you want to work like it's a contour line drawing and go in after the fact and darken some of those areas. So when I'm working in contour, I look at the contour of the object. I noted where the quill of the feather is, the center part of the feather. And I drew that on the shadow side. I kind of did outline it on the shadow side. So I started with that, and then I came out from that center in the direction of the feather. Sometimes you work back towards it, sometimes you come out. But as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm capturing the contour of the feather. On the other side, it's pretty much the same technique, except I don't draw that outline in the center. I just start creating that line with contours. So that is just a start on contour line. Stippling is basically dots. So what you're doing is you're trying to indicate the shadows. And again, if you want to, you can start out drawing the shadow side of an object. And then you go in and you start just basically with a dot pattern with your pen. And you want to use a 005 because you want this to be as small a nib size as possible. You don't want to get it too dark because if you look, the shadow is actually much darker than the edge of the leaf. So I would go in and probably define that edge and start making the shadow much darker. The more dots, the darker the shadows. So you just have to really build up your shadows. And if you want to, you can kind of go in and give it a little bit of a outline there, or contour line to define where that shadow is. And then pull back from the shadow with your dots so you don't see the line. And just continually build up that stipple. The last of the 3 techniques is crosshatch, and this is a technique that was used mostly by Renaissance artists and book illustrators during the Renaissance. And it's basically starting out with a hatch, which is a straight line, and then you cross the hatch if you want to get it darker. So it doesn't lend itself as well for organic objects, and you have to be really patient. If you want to get it a dark shadow, you just continue to build up until you get black. You never fill in with Sharpie. You always just build up the lines until you get a black line. To make it lighter, your lines are not as close, and it basically starts getting lighter towards the edge. So that is a little bit about those 3 techniques. I'll continue working on this and I'll show you this when I'm finished.